All right. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say it's still yet a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. I'm going to tell you all, I must complete this video. My son cleared my laptop of space, but it looks as if it wasn't enough space to where I had my laptop stopped. So, right in the midst of me going over Genesis chapter 6, it's a part of the message, the humbleness of Yahweh. First of all, Sister Deborah, want to let you know I am in a lot of pain because my laptop stopped. So I said, okay, I'll deal with that. I'll do a part 2 on my phone. So I went into the kitchen to get my phone, and somewhere the sofa in the living room, the metal part, I hit my toe and broke it. And I'm like, oh, this feels horrible. But it's not the type of pain that I can't endure. And all I could think about, oh, if I tell my children, they'll all come flying. So I said, I'm going to complete my part 2 on this topic, the humbleness of Yahuwah. And in the midst of what he's seen that was taking place, he was still yet humble in the midst of his action toward what was going on. He was still humble because he didn't stop nothing. He allowed everything to continue. In Genesis chapter 6, we speaking of Noah, the day of Noah and the ark, and how the Most High was even humbled in the midst of all of that. And when I speak of humbled, I mean when he say what he's going to do, he about what he say what he's about. That's why he's the I am. I am who I say I am, and I can be that and some, if that's what I want to be. So I was sitting here going over Genesis chapter 6 because you all have been many times, several times, many of you all have sat at the table and ate a lot of full meal deals regarding what actually took place the days of Noah. When you think of it and you think of what took place in Genesis and why did he say that in the New Testament the end days would be like the days of Noah? What part is he talking about? I'm going to tell you one thing he didn't want us to get confused, which we did. Many people, not Sister Deborah, but many. And they still confused today. And that's why they're not even thinking that the end days is going to take place like the days of Noah. See, back in the days of Noah, he wants you to understand the things that led up to what took place. Okay? And the things afterwards. Because in the New Testament, it speaks of in the days of Noah, and then it also speaks on what was taking place. Okay? It says they will be marrying and giving in marriage. They will be building and selling and feasting. It's not, that's what they are doing? I want you all to understand this if you understand nothing. The days of Noah is very special for you today. You got to understand he is actually sending this message in the New Testament to a nation of people. And that nation of people is the whole house of Israel, warning you of what is going to take place again, like unto the days of Noah. What was he warning? And who was he warning? He wanted you to understand that in the New, as they call it, Testament, I call it a whole, that they're going to be building, they're going to be selling, they're going to be feasting, they're going to be marrying and giving in marriage. All that is fine and dandy, because when I go to Genesis 6, the chapter 6, I can see that. And in Genesis, after that, after 6, you can see that they're doing these things in which the New Testament. But I want to show you how our Negro brothers would take your whole mind and feed you all kind of full meal deals, and you would accept it in your flesh and think you got wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the spirit realm, and you have no spirit and truth. Okay, now in Genesis, this is going to be part 2, because I kind of cut out. And even in this, you can see that he's just letting you know. He's speaking even in his humbleness, that it's all well in what I'm about to do. It is all well with me. You know what I'm saying? Now in Genesis chapter 6, I want to show you how they taught you. In Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, you have to start there. You cannot drop all the way down to verse, let me tell you, to verse, let me see, where did they take it out? Of verse 4. You cannot jump down to 4, because everything sprouted out of what took place in Genesis 6, verse 1. And it reads, and it came to pass when the men, which is male, began to multiply on the face of the earth. So one thing he letting you know, it was some connection to men. Okay. And then he said, and their daughters were born unto who? The men. Okay. So here it is. He telling you that they had a lot of men being multiplied during this time. Okay. And then he says, and daughters were born unto them. Okay. Now they having daughters. Now listen to this. Verse 2. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Now I want you to understand what he's saying here. Okay, I've said to you all several times that Yah has his and man has theirs. When he's telling you, and the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men are darkness. Okay, the sons of Yah were those that were coming in the light. Okay, so they were the sons of Yah that was sent down. Okay, now don't think that the daughters of men were not sent here by Yah. They were. It was the difference. The daughters of men were flesh. Okay, the sons of Yah was spirit and flesh. But they destiny was to come down as sons of Yah and walking in light. But what does it say? It says, watch this here, in light. Light is a spirit. Okay, now watch this here. Let's go back to verse 2. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, which is darkness, that they were fair. And they took them wives, with an S, of all which they chose. Now, I want you to understand when it says they took wives, okay? You see took and you see wives. Now, we know back then, you just couldn't take the men daughters. So what were they doing? They were paying and giving the fathers, the men, to take their daughters. Okay? As many wives of all which they chose. As many as they wanted. This is what they were doing. Let me say that again. The daughters were born to men. And to them men, they were darkness. So when the sons of Yah, which I keep trying to tell y'all before the foundation of the world, Yah predestined all things. When he formed the clay and the potter, he was the potter of the clay. The clay belonged to Yah. He molded one this way and one that way. One to honor and one to dishonor. This was done before the foundation of the world. So here, when it says, and it came in verse 1, it says, and it came to pass when the men began to multiply on the face of the earth. These were men of darkness. They were multiplying. And their daughters were born unto them. And the sons of Yah, which those who were walking at first at one time in the light. How did they come here then, Deborah, being the sons of Yah? They were sent here as the representative of Yah in their spirit as the light. Their flesh was still part of them. They had flesh like the men that was in darkness, that was having these daughters. But the men, the sons of Yah, were those who had the same flesh, but they had the spirit of light. They recognized they were the light. Now they were the sons of Yah. And when they saw, people don't believe it. People don't want to believe it because they've been deceived by so many watchmen, seers, Moors, pastors, preachers, bishops, prophets, and prophetess. They don't even know if they're going or coming. That's why the great falling away must take place. It's because people have been deceived for so long. Wait a minute. Great falling away. They want to be deceived. Great falling away. And it ain't so much as they want to. If you look at verse 6 in the first chapter, the men were multiplying on the face of the earth, and they begin to have daughters were born to them. What was their main thing? What was the main things men did with their daughters? Let me tell you, one of the main things is sell them for this. That's why I don't listen to these Hebrew Israelites who said, oh, the white man sold our children and sold our wives and took us away and they did this and they did this. They don't understand who they were in this book. Y'all know who they were. He know who they are. And that's where you know that something is seriously wrong. Hold up 1 minute. I got a broken toe, but hold up 1 minute. Oh, that hurts. I'm gonna complete this here. Oh, I'm going to complete this. Yes, I am. I'm going to complete this video, and I'm not going to do it with the length of time. I'm going to do it Okay. Oh, yes, I broke my toe. For real. So, I had to put this in to keep that from going out. That's behind this here phone. But what happened was, in verse 2, we go in Genesis chapter 6, in verse 2, the sons of Yah saw the daughters of man, that they were fair. See, the sons of Yah were those who were able to recognize that they were a light, okay, and that they wanted to and desired to follow Yah. But listen to this. But when they saw how fair the men, daughters were, what did they do? They took them wives of all which they chose. This is where you must start. Why the world was ended. Exactly what they're doing today. You see? And they would drill you where it's okay to have many wives. We can have wives. We can get rid of this. We can have this. If she don't do right, get rid of her and get you another one. No. That's not how it's done in the spirit of truth. You see? Identical what he said in the New Testament. It's going to be like the days of Noah. It can't jump into the days of Noah as far as him ending the world without bumping you up to why. From the beginning, what was in your mind, Father, to destroy the world? And why? What led to it? He don't want us to go around and try to get to know him, but yet not know him. That's one of our biggest issues. We say we know him. You are distant, so distant from who he is. 99.1 trillion don't even know what his love is consist of. 100 times 1 trillion don't even know who his right hand and his stretched out arm is. 1 billion times 1 trillion don't even know who Christ is. But they feed you day and night on all these platforms, and you stand at his table, at their table, like you're getting a full meal deal. Sister Deborah told you on the last video, if I'm at their table listening to something, hey, he said he would put me in the presence of my enemy, and he will anoint my head with oil, because he wants you to know truth in the midst of your enemies. Even though you're sitting at the table with him, he's going to anoint your head with oil. So when you get up, you're going to have what it takes to run on. And that's why I think a lot of people are messing up from the floor. But Babylon is down. We're about to feel the impact. So listen to this. And we need to stop believing what these men are saying. When he says it's going to be like the days of Noah, where did he say anything in the New Testament about the giants? Because it has nothing to do with the giants. This is how they cover up what men were doing. They were having children, selling them off as wife, as many as the sons of Yah desired. And they were wives. Same identical thing they doing now. Then he told you back then in the New Testament, it's going to be like the days of Noah, married and given in marriage. Because he knew that it's the same way then that's going to happen. It's going to be like then. And what they did is they erased all of that when it comes down to marrying wives. They erased all of that. That tells you right there. When you go to Genesis chapter 6 and you read verse 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, it tells you, y'all, it's not for wives. And they had daughters being born to them. So they were even selling their daughters at very young age just to get this. But then they get over here in the Western world, they sold our children and our wives and our husbands. Yah said he sent you to the land that had the same identical wickedness as you had. He didn't send you to this land to be oppressed. He sent you to this land so you can get a taste of who you were before you reach that land. That's you. Now taste this. That's you. Now taste that. So when the men turn around and say we was in slavery, they raped our daughters. They took, you did it to your own. They raped their daughters. They raped their sons. Look at Solomon and Gomorrah. Look at Judge, the king of Judah in Judges. Same thing. Men having men. And then it tells you young men and older. Letting you know, young boys. Back in Solomon and Gomorrah. So why is it men erase spirit and truth of every matter and feed you all a full meal deal? But Yah, my Father, high and low, does he still be humble in the midst of it. So when he said in the days of Noah, you have to look at verse 3. Let's go. He said, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Now, this is what I keep trying to explain to you all, and you don't have the ear to hear, nor the, how would he say, the ear to hear and the eyes to see plainly what this is saying. In verse 3, it's telling you that those sons of Yah were sent here as the sons of Yah. Okay? But they got attached to the ways of the Son of Man, which is darkness. Right today, our people are following darkness. What Sister Deborah been telling you for quite a long time. Just because you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon, you think you got it going on, thinking you hearing some messages. You thinking you hearing from the Most High Yah. You ain't hearing nothing but darkness from the wicked one. Because like the days of Noah, so shall it be. We're in that day. I'm telling y'all, we're in that day. That's why they talking about wives. Here it is in Genesis 6, the day of Noah. Took them wives, all which they chose. Who are these children? These are the children of the darkness. These are the daughters of the darkness. And then those that are of the men that was of Yah, they took on the daughters that was darkness. Now what happened to the men of Yah? They took on darkness. Because listen to verse 3. And Yah said, my spirit that I've given them, which is the light. Hold up. Hold up. You see that spirit? That's not the ultimate spirit of who he is. That's just the spirit that he gave them, which was the light. He called it, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for they also is flesh. So what did they take on? They took on, okay, the flesh, the darkness side. They kicked the spirit side away. And that's what I say you all are going through today. Everybody's reaching for everything that has to do with the flesh. And no one's reaching for the things of the spirit, because it is spirit and it is truth. No one's coming from that end. So all this YouTube, Facebooks and all this, they're reaching on the dark side. Just like right here. He said it. He said, and Yahuwah said, my spirit shall not always strive with them. Strive with them. Okay? For that he also is flesh. That means the sons of men decided to go the darkness, which is the way of their flesh. To do the what? The wives and as many as they please. You think these men of these fair daughters were giving these men their daughters? No, they were paying for it. As many as they wanted, as long as they fathers didn't care, because they were darkness. They give them as many as they want. These were Hebrew Israelites. Giving their daughters away for money. That's why they end up in the the Western world where they were slave and they were sold, because you were selling yours over there, doing the same thing, and think the Most High don't know. But he wanted me to let y'all know he was in what he is in this day. Still yet his humble state of mind. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. You don't have to go when we rumble and be like what we say, because we are liars and no truth can be found in us. And I like that, because see, that answered a multitude of questions of females and males try to figure out, can we have many wives? Can we have as many as we please? That's what kicked off Yah to end the world. Then back it up when you in the New Testament saying gonna be like the days of Noah. What's gonna be like the days? They gonna be doing the same thing that caused men to destroy it then. They gonna be still doing them same actions come that day. He never mentioned in the New Testament anything about giants. But when you hear our men teach this, they blame it on the giants. They are lie, and the truth is not gonna rest in them. And y'all knew it. That's why he made sure the gate remained narrow. So when you go here to verse 3, Genesis 6 and verse 3, and Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with men. Strive with men. Why? For that he also is flesh. He's talking about the sons of Yah. They are spirit and they are flesh. They chose the dark side. Okay, now, yet his days shall be 120 years. So what is he saying? Wasn't it a time where they lived longer? He cut the years on that flesh because they chose the dark side. So he cut their years all the way down to 120 years. And you know what? They will teach you this here all kind of corners to manipulate you and deceive. And if you cannot see this with a spiritual eye, just one, and it's a spiritual eye, and you cannot hear with a spiritual ear, which is one, you're going to be lost without a cause the rest of your life, because this thing is plainly seen. This is not of Yah. This is what started it. So he said, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Letting you know, on that flesh, I'm only going to give you 120. That's it. I'm only going to let it right here. And his days shall be 120. Letting you know, you will never live past that. But wait a minute. When he getting ready to destroy? Yeah. Yah is sending many things to us today so we can understand what yesterday really was about. And look how he was humble in the midst of everything he did then as he was now. Look how he went and he took Moses and told Moses to go to Pharaoh. And then he turned around and hardened Pharaoh's heart to get it the way he wanted. And a lot of us so ignorant. We are so ignorant. It wasn't about Pharaoh. Pharaoh would have let the people go the first time. He loved Moses. He would have let the people go the first time, but Yah was sending a message to these still stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient people. Look at me, what I'm doing for you all. I'm bringing all these things on Pharaoh on your behalf. So he was trying to get the people of Israel to see his mighty right hand. They still wasn't there. Why? Because as soon as they got to the other side, they started to curse Yah. So the same person they were before they got over there, they were still that. The same place they is today, they still that. It's no escaping. They are who they are. And Yah knows it. So here in verse 4, Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after those days, there were giants in the earth in those days. That means there were bigger men that were very mighty and strong, big men back in those days. They have no connection to the Son of Yah. They have no connection to the first verse, to the when the men begin to multiply and have on the face of the earth, daughters were born. He's saying there were giants in the earth those days. They were already in the earth. Okay, just like the men that was having the daughters, these were men of darkness, meaning they follow the flesh. Okay, that's why they were selling those babies off. And a lot of them was born to them, and they sold them out to men as wives, being young girls. All they wanted was this. Their own baby was sold out. Why would you say that, Deborah? Look at Lot. He was willing to give his daughters to those sick people, men that was out there that wanted to have those angels at his house. Look at the judge of Judah. He was willing, him and the master of that house was willing to give his daughter and his concubine to the men that was out there that wanted to have sex with them in the house. You can have my daughter. That's how easy men gave up their daughters. And this is not of Yah. That's how it is today. Men are easy to sell their daughters, but then they cry out, they raped our daughters and our women, and they took our children and they sold us. Wait a minute. Yah he wants you to understand this from his prophetess. You still don't know. You as sleep as you were. You so sleep, you dead. Because there was a lot of things a lot of people don't understand that took place, and they're bypassing all. There's nothing wrong with knowing spirit and truth. There's nothing you can do about it. But Yah can do something about it by giving you a humble spirit. Like his spirit. In spite of what's going on, he humble. He is so humbled in the midst of everything that's in before us. You can't run up to him and buckle up and pray and cry out about nothing that's taking place. He won't hear you. Your cries and all that is like icicles because you haven't embraced who he is. But yet you want him to embrace how you feeling? I don't think so. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. I want to get to this before my phone died out. There were giants in the earth in those days. That means these giants were here before the sons of men, which is darkness, the sons of Yah went into the daughters of men. One is darkness, and the other one was those who were son here with the light. Okay. That's why he said his spirit is not going to strive with them that's in the light, because they flesh. He knew already their flesh is going to love that flesh of darkness from the men that was having the daughters. They're going to love to be that way instead of being the way that Yah has sent them down here to be. Now, the giants were already here in those days. And also after those days, the giants also continued. That has nothing to do with what these men that was having these daughters were doing.